Welcome to Passion for Fashion. Quit your online shopping, it's time to step right into the essence of fashion. We'll be looking at the designers who lead the way and the pop stars that perform in the clothes that we all desire. Today, we look at supermodels, the women who ruled the front pages, captured the photographers, and showed us how to sell a product. So dodge those flying phones and sit down as we tell you what you need to know about these icons of the catwalk. There is a lot of squabbling about who was the first to coin the term supermodel. One at a time, girls. From the 1930s to the 1950s, one woman, Lisa Fonsegrivas, could claim the title of the world's first supermodel. She graced the covers of Time, Vogue, and the original Vanity Fair. In the 60s, Glamour magazine gave 19 models the term supermodels. The list included Jean Shrimpton and Twiggy. With her blonde crop and strikingly dark eyelashes, Twiggy became one of the first international models. She had her own clothesline, Twiggy Dresses, and even her own Twiggy lunchbox range. Twiggy was a brand.
Oh, yeah.
Elite, under the guidance of Casablancas, turned Linda Evangelista, Christy Turlington, and Naomi Campbell into supermodels. These women appeared not only on the catwalk, but also in film and music videos. They dominated magazine covers and signed lucrative advertising deals. They were more glamorous than movie stars, although shall we forget about Fashion Cafe? A controversial direction towards the thinner, grungier model known as heroin chic caused a backlash against such stars. The Calvin Klein campaign starring Kate Moss found itself criticized for its dark tone and her lean figure. The size of models entered the public consciousness with the size zero debate. It seemed the golden era was over. The idea of supermodels continued to wane when magazines found that famous movie stars on the cover would outperform models in selling the publications. Faces like Sharon Stone and Michelle Pfeiffer were the new aspirational figures. Today, the trend continues with Katy Perry, Emma Watson, and Angelina Jolie stealing the covers. In the 90s, royalty found glamour when Princess Diana was fronting magazines, omnipresent due to her eye for style, as putting her on the cover equaled big sales. In 1999, Vogue proclaimed Gisele Bündchen as the return of the sexy model. The world's highest-paid model, the Brazilian star found praise from Anna Wintour for reviving the concept of the supermodel. Naomi Campbell stepped in to acknowledge that there are no supermodels left today, except for one. She is, of course, Gisele Bündchen.
Would you like me to seduce you?
The chameleon of fashion and a model who has graced the covers of over 600 magazines in her career, Linda Evangelista is the definition of a supermodel. Her beautiful bone structure and striking blue-green eyes have appeared on virtually every international magazine. Linda was born in Canada to Italian parents. She was discovered by elite model management. She was determined to be a star and moved to Paris to hone her skills and develop her career. She met photographer Peter Lindbergh, who encouraged her to wear her hair short, and the chameleon was born. Over the next 4 years, she dyed her hair 17 times and was noted for being a model that could transform in front of the camera. She is mostly known for her work with the photographer Steven Meisel. Her photographs for him dominated the 90s. Linda was a part of pop culture. She appeared in not one, but 2 George Michael videos, playing what she does best, the supermodel. She had a fierce talent for one-liners, and on being asked about life as a supermodel, she gave the infamous line, "We don't wake up for less than $10,000 a day. Neither do I." She also cheekily told People magazine, "We don't Vogue, we are Vogue." Take that, Madonna. Not being content with being one of the 5 supermodels of Vogue, Linda formed a trinity with Christy Turlington and Naomi Campbell. The 3 dominated the fashion industry, a sensation on the catwalk as well as on the nightclub floors. Having all 3 of them together on a catwalk or a photo shoot caused excitement. Aside from being a glamorous party girl, Linda has also used her fame to support causes that she believes in, notably raising awareness for breast cancer research. Unlike some who are more famous for their temperament than their actual professional skills, Linda seems to win the respect of everyone she works with. And although she has modeled less since the birth of her son, she still models for L'Oreal and graces the front of Vogue when requested by the likes of Lagerfeld or Meisel. Pop culture was dominated by the 90s supermodels, so if you were a pop star, you had to have these women in your video. Here are the models that every rock star wanted. Before Kate Moss, the original model with the rock and roll lifestyle was Jerry Hall. That trademark long blonde hair and her staggering height of 6 feet made her one of the most visible models of the 1970s. After posing for the cover for Roxy Music's Siren album, Hall became the girlfriend to singer Brian Ferry, and shortly after they became engaged. Inevitably, they didn't stick together, as a year later Jerry left Brian to be with Mick Jagger. She traded up. The masterstroke of casting Helena Christensen alongside the attractive Chris Isaak set the pulses of the pop world racing. Director Herb Ritts is a commercial fashion photographer, and the video plays out like a series of sexy stills.
To make me feel this way.
More countdown later. What do you do if you make it into the heady realms of being a supermodel? Do you stay in bed waiting for that $10,000 phone call? No, there is more money to be made off the catwalk, and these women knew it. Industry giants could see the commercial gain in having these star models to front a campaign. They were super famous and could get your product noticed. However, the supermodels had their own ideas of how to use their fame. Cindy Crawford was one of the first to diversify her career. She was the model to go to if you wanted to sell, sell, sell. She had fronted successful campaigns for Revlon and Omega watches, and famously made Pepsi look sexy. So she used her charms to launch her own fitness videos, which became a must-have for the new breed of fitness fanatics. Supermodel Giselle knew quite a bit about brand association too. In 2005, she negotiated a record-breaking contract with lingerie giants Victoria's Secret. In the deal, she made $25 million, securing her the title of the world's top model. She also took a hand in designing her own line. Just Giselle standing in a shop window was enough to launch her clothesline. Of course it was. Naomi Campbell's star has risen high from the moment she was noticed by John Casablancas and joined Elite Model Agency. From falling in her platform heels on the Westwood catwalk, causing disturbances in America with her BlackBerry, and testifying in blood diamond trials, Naomi has sailed above it all and is still on top. She now features in her own TV series, The Face, which pits her against fellow global supermodels to find that ever-elusive new face of modeling. Tyra Banks has the most remarkable knack for business. She developed from being a model to becoming one of the most influential people in America, according to Time magazine. Her production company, Bankable Productions, has certainly become bankable, and her chat show has won several Emmy Awards as well as high ratings. Tyra is best known for the series America's Next Top Model, which she created and marketed the format across the world. Maybe one day this show will reveal the next supermodel from those young hopefuls. And now it's time to look at the crazier side of the catwalk in our favorite section, What About Fashion? This is an outfit known as Under the Bonnet. I look good and I can pick up 400 channels.
Are you? Oi, wanna give you a bear hug? All you out there on the floor.
This must be what they call Amish chic.
Bear hug. We brought you all a gift from Maximum Dance Floor Uplift. It's called the bear hug. Sent to make you move.
Here we have the magic of fashion.
Bear hug.
Oh look, matching gloves.
There's no quack who give you pills that'll give you natural thrills like a bear hug.
As Tyra Banks would say, you failed the runway
As
test.
good as this here love, gonna give you a bear hug.
Still to come, more countdown, what happens when models hit 35mm, and we'll unveil the supermodels of today. At number 3 in our hot model countdown, Tyra Banks. When Tina Turner, the queen of rock and roll, returned to her roots with the song Love Thing, she wanted to make an impact. Enter the queen of the runway, Tyra Banks. Tyra appears to have taught Tina a few moves on the catwalk. Looking fierce, Tina, but you need to work on your smize, girl. Right, Tyra? The statuesque Tyra has had an extraordinary career for somebody who never set out to be a model. After being spotted by a scout, she was whisked away to Paris to do an unprecedented 25 shows for her first season. Tyra has appeared in other promos for Michael Jackson, George Michael, Lionel Richie, and even embarked on a musical career of her own before settling down as a media mogul. Her star has truly risen with her own show, America's Next Top Model. In the world of fashion, there are few as infamous as Naomi Campbell. As one of the 90s supermodels, she was not only a force on the catwalk, but also in demand from the biggest names in music. And they don't come much bigger than Michael Jackson. In 1992, she was requested to feature in his video for the single In the Closet. The two had never met before, but they got on incredibly well in a more amiable manner than this video suggests. They played pranks on each other, Naomi once surprising him with a water pistol hidden under her skirt, and Michael covering her in whipped cream from a can. We would like to say this was the beginning of a successful career in pop for Naomi, but sadly it wasn't. Anybody remember the album Baby Woman? Thought not. Hey, she's worth $48 million. What does she care? The prospect of a model acting in a film may bring a few sneers, but these are supermodels. Here are those that shone on the silver screen. In the 1970s, Ken Russell was one of the leading directors of British cinema. It wasn't a surprise that he chose the leading British model of the era, Twiggy, to star in his film, The Boyfriend. Twiggy had performed the role of Polly Brown once before in a successful Broadway production. Being a musical, the part also required Twiggy to sing.
I searched the starlit sky so bright in my imagination. There I saw you in the night.
The model had released a few singles in the 60s, but this role required a lot more from her. She impressed the critics, however, and her skills won her 2 Golden Globe Awards for Best Newcomer and Best Actress in a Musical or Comedy. Mila Jovovich is the model who has done the impossible, become a successful blockbuster actress. Once Miuccia Prada's muse and Gianni Versace's favorite model, she evolved into the reigning queen of kicking ass due to a hugely successful career in a number of sci-fi and action films. It was her role in The Fifth Element that was her breakthrough. She was so determined to acquire the lead role of Lilu that she even created a 400-word alien language which was used in the film. The costumes for the film were designed by Jean-Paul Gaultier. Colorful and loud, they were a step away from the dark and moody tones of other sci-fi films like Blade Runner. Mila stunned in her outfit made of medical bandages. At the time, she found the outfit a little exposing. An outfit like that has a different reaction on a film set than a catwalk, but she carried off the look despite the wolf whistles from the crew. She loved the red hair, but realized she would have to leave that look behind to pursue other roles. Sometimes roles reverse and actresses step in to play the model. An actress and pop icon of 1960s London, Julie Christie made her name portraying an amoral model in the 1965 film Darling. She won the role after actress Shirley MacLaine dropped out, but she pulled off the part, winning numerous accolades, including the Best Actress Oscar. The stylish mod-era costumes also won themselves an Oscar. Playing a troubled model is also something actress Angelina Jolie did in the 1998 biopic Gia. The film charted the tragic life of model Gia Karangi. Gia was regarded by some as the first supermodel. She appeared in various high-profile campaigns for leading fashion houses and graced the cover of Vogue several times. Gia, however, had a long battle with drugs and at 26 died from an AIDS-related illness. Angelina Jolie identified with Gia and used the role to deal with her own issues.
Take care of me. I'm just a kid.
She received critical acclaim for her performance, winning a Golden Globe. But there is one model that has done it all, Brigitte Bardot. Though beginning as a model, the French star can claim actress, singer, and animal activist as titles too. At the age of 15, when she graced the cover of Elle magazine, she didn't just find fame, she also found a director by the name of Roger Vadim. He later gave her the starring role in the film And God Created Woman, which became an international success. She shocked and enchanted the audience with the sexuality she displayed on film, not just in persona, but also style. She invented the choucroute, the ruffled and back-combed hairstyle, which became a trend in the 1960s, and the heavy mascara and eyeliner she wore was also mimicked by the masses. From that point on, she rose through a decade of screen roles and remains one of the most influential icons in pop culture. Linda, Naomi, and Christy were the trinity of power and serious cash. Although still the leaders of fashion today, this decade has seen a new generation arise. First up, Cara Delevingne. Like the 90s trinity of Linda, Naomi, and Christy, Cara knows how to party. Her lifestyle of socializing in famous circles have led Cara to have a massive Twitter following. With pop star friends and possible pop star romances, the world watches her and the brands know it. She has worked those signature eyebrows for Burberry, YSL, and Chanel. Her other look is the funny faces that she likes to pull, but thankfully she saves that for off the catwalk. Let's hope the wind doesn't change and she gets stuck that way. Karlie Kloss. People say supermodels don't eat. Well, Karlie Kloss has bucked the trend by bringing out her own line of biscuits. Karlie's cookies have clearly not affected her figure, which is just as well as she is already ranked 9th in the top models list and is needed on those catwalks. The face of Dior, Donna Karan, and Lacoste, as well as finding time to sell Vuitton bags, Karlie is one of the most in-demand models. Georgia May Jagger, the DNA of rock and fashion royalty coupled with that infamous smile, Georgia Jagger became an unstoppable force in fashion. While the 90s were all about perfection, fashion now demands something different and unconventional from models. That gap-toothed smile of hers has won her contracts from the likes of Rimmel, and she graces the catwalks of the big guns, Vivienne Westwood, Louis Vuitton, and Versace. Natalia Vodianova. She had humble beginnings selling fruit on the street, but this stallholder's daughter went on to conquer the European fashion scene. Signed to Viva Models, she has fronted campaigns for L'Oreal, Marc Jacobs, Pepe Jeans, Louis Vuitton, Kenzo, and Dior. Joan Smalls. Imagine being the #1 model in the world. Well, Smalls doesn't have to. She is. 7 Vogue covers and a contract with Estee Lauder have only been a small part of the incredible rise from being a Victoria's Secret model to a fully fledged powerhouse. She is a favorite of big names such as Tom Ford and Karl Lagerfeld. Despite this, it still seems only the beginning for Joan, who is the definition of the modern-day supermodel. Those new faces could learn a lot as we return to our countdown and to our #1. Who else could be our #1 other than Kate Moss? She is just as much the rock star as the fashion star. Kate has appeared in many videos for some of the coolest names in music, and none were more cool in the noughties than the White Stripes. When Sofia Coppola directed the 2003 video for their single, I Just Don't Know What to Do With Myself, there was only one girl for the job. Stripped back and filmed in black and white, Kate Moss commanded the screen in the same way she has always controlled the camera. And her sexy pole dance left many guys unsure of what to do with themselves. So let's get back to how Kate Moss became the rock star of fashion. Croydon's finest was billed as the anti-supermodel when she arrived on the scene. Her 90s contemporaries were curvaceous, tall figures, and Kate's leaner look seemed to rebel against this. Being one of the most stylish regular attendees of music festivals, Kate has an obvious love for rock and roll. However, it's not just the music she's a fan of. A succession of romances with leading figures of the music scene has ensured she is the ultimate rock and roll model. Admittedly, some like Anthony Langdon of Space Hog or Evan Dando of the Lemonheads may not go down in history, but those troubled times with ex-Libertine singer Pete Doherty certainly made the headlines. Since then, Kate has found happiness and marriage with the Kills star Jamie Hintz, who she married in a gorgeous Galliano gown. It seems the love she has for music is reciprocal, as she has been asked to appear in many promos over her career. Not a fan of being in his own videos, Elton John asked Kate to feature in his hit Something About the Way You Look Tonight. She has appeared in not one but 2 Johnny Cash videos. She was introduced to Cash through former boyfriend Johnny Depp and remained a fan.
For a long time, there's no white light and I'm not through.
After moaning to her neighbor and friend George Michael about not being in his infamous Freedom 90 video, which seemed to feature every supermodel apart from herself, George gave her a starring role in his 2012 release, White Light. There have been plenty of rumors of Kate fronting bands, but only one release materialized with her stepping behind the microphone. She sang with friend Bobby Gillespie for Primal Scream's cover of Some Velvet Morning. Plenty of supermodels have tried troubling the charts, but by channeling the Velvet Underground's Nico, Kate made a surprisingly good effort. We would like to hear more from Kate. See you next time for more brands, designers, and rock and roll.